Sorry that we're a little bit late. It was the glitches that we had on the technology side. The intention of my presentation is to communicate with you regarding where do we see the future and what is our contribution as Huawei from an AI point of view. So you can engage with me as I go along. So, if you can have a look at the world started darker, if I may put it that way. In the beginning, you had a situation where people were not connected. Roads were not tarred. There was no electricity. People used to fetch water, more especially in Africa. People used to fetch water from the rivers and so forth and so forth. So we call that the first generation society where there was no automation. Computing came about and we became an information society. But now the way we see it during the information society, there's a lot of things that are happening in silos. So now we are moving to the new world, which is called the intelligent world, where almost everything is going to start to get interconnected as we move. So how does that interconnectivity works? Before I came here to speak, there was somebody from NBC, I think Namibia Broadcasting Corporation, right? He came and he spoke about that they're having big servers, everything is about IP, and they've got NBS Plus as an app. That particular NBS app is enabled by all IP network. So in the beginning, we saw the all IP network, but now it's no longer about that, it's about cloudification. Cloudification is that we are now able to access our files any time of the day, no matter where we are. Unlike before, where we can only access our files and all the information only when we are sitting at a certain specific position. But now we are seeing the all-intelligent world where almost everything is going to be interconnected. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Guys, the way we see the intelligent world is that everything is going to get interconnected. Talking about things like IoT, from a connectivity point of view, applications, from modulation point of view, and decision making. Those are the three most important things that we see from our industry. So, we see, like I said, we see almost everything being siloed. It's more like a tree with different branches, but when you go back, it goes to the root, and we believe that that particular root, it becomes the intelligence, because we're now entering an era of large models, and some of these large models I'm going to be talking about today. So, ChatGPT was a deal breaker, is the one that allowed a lot of organizations to realize the potential for AI. ChatGPT allowed many things, such as GPT-4, such as Titan, and such of different models. And that allowed us to have a lot of use cases that we could be able to establish on our network and in our society. For example, right now, if you want to do tourism, let's say you want to visit Namibia and you don't know anything about Namibia, you come from South Africa like me, you are able to just type it in ChatGPT. It's going to look at your history, the things you like and the things you don't like and all those kind of things, and give you a tourist recommendation based on AI. There's a lot of applications that we are seeing in the market right now from a Huawei point of view. But now, this is how we interpret AI. We've got three levels. We've got level 0, which we call a foundation model. At Huawei, we've got something called Pangu. Pangu is our AI model. We modeled this particular AI based on 5 models that we have, and those particular 5 models went into specific industries. And from the specific industries, we've got very specific scenarios that we generate from that. What does it mean? So the level 0 foundation is more like an operating system. So imagine you've got Microsoft. So you can have Microsoft, and from there you can have Microsoft Word, and with Microsoft Word, you can type an essay and produce an essay. It's more like that. So at the foundation level, we've got different models for different industries. Then we've got the models that allows the models to be built on top of it, and then we've got scenarios that are applications that are sitting on top. Let's take an example of those applications that I'm talking about. We have got a model right now, which is called Smart City in AI. The Smart City allows us to be able to, let's assume that you've got an accident in Namibia. Today, you've got many departments that need to be called. For example, the fire extinguishing department need to be called, the police, maybe the traffic cops, you're going to get the ambulance guys and all those kind of people. So now what happens during our AI is that once we detect an accident, even the person who's involved in an accident doesn't have to call or do anything. We will automatically collate the information between all the departments. They would know the location, they would know the nature of the accident, they would even see the videos of exactly what happened during the accident so that they can dispatch the correct services that need to be dispatched for that. Look at a lot of scenarios. For example, disaster, where there is floods. If there is floods, in a lot of organizations, in a lot of countries, we found that a lot of departments and the government organization need to collate the information, and sometimes that is not there. So we are able, with our AI, to be able to do that. But for us to can be able to do that, there are regulations that need to be implemented. And I'll give you an example as I go on about these regulations that I'm talking about. This is our Pengu model, and this is just for mining. So what we have managed to do is that mining is a very unsafe environment. So because mining is very much unsafe, what we have done is that we created an AI where we can be able to artificially mine the minerals, whatever minerals that we want. If you can have a look at that particular machine, is doing the mining deep inside. So now, the person who's operating that is sitting in the comfort of their own ventilated office, where they can be able to just direct the machine exactly where it needs to go and how deep it needs to go without being present inside the hole or inside the mine itself. It's absolutely secured, it's absolutely safe, and it's next generation. This is one of the models that we have created. So at Huawei, our focus is much more on industrialization and automation to enable AI. Look at weather. So last year, we predicted at a very, very close range the typhoon that was coming, and we actually predicted when is it going to start, which environment is it going to move, until when is it going to end. And the government utilized that in West Asia, and they were in West Europe, and they were able to say, to evacuate the people in time, to get the emergency services in time, and to be able to do all necessary things that the government need to do quite in time. That was phenomenal. And in actual fact, after we collaborated with the government, today they're utilizing Pengu to predict the weather because it is the most accurate AI model utilizing the big data. Now, let's have a look. AI is a 60 years young science field, as you may. Some people think AI just started yesterday. AI didn't start yesterday. It started long ago during the people like John McCarthy, who researched AI during his time, but because of the silo researches and the silo environment which didn't have the internet, the cloudification, it couldn't take off. Now that we are in this era where almost everything is interconnected, we are able to then collaborate all the information and bring it to life. Let's go and have a look at some of these things that we're talking about. There are very, very distinct and very interesting researches that we can go into. The likes of automatic computers. The likes of neuron networks. Neuron networks is networks, you know the neuron from a human body. We are trying to build the networks that will behave and intercommunicate more like your body, the way the body functions. Because if you are in pain, your brain would know that you're in pain. Your eyes would know that you're in pain. Everything would know exactly what's going on. So we've got that AI field of study and research that can be able to be done. Self-improvement. So these are some of the interesting things that we believe that they can be explored and they can be looked at. Now, that being said, how do we see the world? The way Huawei see the world is that in the olden days, the reason why AI couldn't take off, it was simply because the environment was not yet conducive for it to can be able to take off. What do we mean by that? For you to do big data and artificial intelligence, we need a lot of resources, such as the CPU power. I'll give you a typical example. Today, decision making based on AI model takes a lot of terabits of data that need to be collated and decision need to be made. The CPU and the GPU, the NPU, the central processing unit, the graphics processing unit, the network processing unit, data processing unit, the hard drive, the SDD, and the connectivity that is required is much, much, much more higher. The NBC guy who came here, he said that sometimes they experience glitches on their applications, or freezes, he wanted to say. And it's all due to connectivity. The connectivity has to be right. We live during the millennials. The millennials, if an internet browser cannot be able to open within 5 seconds, they close it out. They are like that. I'll give you a typical example with the millennials. We were meant to go into a plenary session number B. I saw some few millennials coming along with us. I think they were about 10. For the first 5 minutes, we couldn't get our presentation going, and they're all gone. That's how the millennials work. That's the cutthroat industry that we live in, where everything has to be right at the right time for it to happen. So, what is the path for Africa? But most importantly, what is the path for Namibia? How do we see this happening? In Namibia in particular, if you can have a look, we've got the nascent stage, the people that are really, really trying to come. And we believe that Namibia is part of Egypt, Nigeria, and Kenya. But if you can have a look at Kenya, Kenya is so much well done so far. They've got a lot of data. They've got a lot of systems that they try to automate. They've got a lot of things that they, from a government point of view, that they're trying to utilize AI to enable. The working up stage is a little bit higher, is where we've got places like Morocco, South Africa, and Tunisia. In South Africa, in cities like Johannesburg, most of you know, if you go to Johannesburg, you gotta be careful because anything can happen to you anytime by those crooks. Yeah? By the criminals. So what we are trying to do in Johannesburg is to have a smart city where we can collate the information and see the guys wanting to commit crime and apprehend them before they actually commit it. In South Africa, we've got a problem with the van that moves the money, the cash heists. There have been quite a lot. Last year, I think there were more than 263. This year, they've so much been reduced simply because there's a lot of intelligence which has been put in together. So these guys are waking up. They haven't used a big data so much to can be able to stabilize the country and make sure that the crime comes down. If you can have a look at things like the e-visa, they've come up with a model of e-visa. So it's a matter of intercommunication between different departments and allowing big data to can be able to access the information so that we've got safe cities. But the government becomes a very, very big part of the whole thing. Compliance, I'll give you a typical example of the laws. In the United States of America, they've got a model. It's a beautiful working model. This model is for crime. It profiles anybody. So if you're walking on the street, you must just know that you're in America, you've been profiled rigorously. And if there's anything untoward on you, they will just come towards you. But then, where there is no laws, abuse will come. I'll give you a typical example. America has been flagged to be a country where it only does that rigorously to the black people. They don't do it to the other counterpart. As you know, what had happened with America and a lot of things in America. So where there is no laws and there's no regulation, everybody can do their own things. I'll give you another typical example. When there are no laws, the people that you entrust with your data might be the people that sell your data to other people for different purposes. The minister yesterday, she spoke about, while we are doing this artificial intelligence and big data, we need to be highly responsible when it comes to that particular data that we're going to be collecting and having on behalf of the citizens. This is exactly what we're talking about. When I look into Namibia, the regulations are there, but not yet at the mature stage. We still need the partnership with the government so that we can be able to correlate and communicate and find this. For those who want to get into the AI, there are paths that we can be able to do. There are 3 things that are involved. You need expansive computing power, you need a very good talent, and you need a very complex development. Now, this is for people who really want to get into AI because AI is the future. Let me tell you a story, and this is a very interesting story. I travel the world and I speak about artificial intelligence, and almost everybody tells me that, KG, this artificial intelligence of yours is going to take our jobs. And I've got a very simple response to them all the times. The only jobs that are going to be taken by artificial intelligence would be the jobs by the people who don't know what artificial intelligence is. If you get there first, you start to do your own models, you start to understand what artificial intelligence is, you are 5 steps ahead of everybody else. When that skill is necessary, you'd be the one with the skill. You won't be left behind. Why? Because there is no way we can stop artificial intelligence. It's here to stay. It's absolutely here to stay. So let's make sure that we take an advantage of that. But while I'm talking about an expansive computing power, talent and complex environment, sometimes these things that are very expansive and expensive are not available at our fingertip. So what we have done as Huawei is that we've got a Huawei cloud, and the cloud platform that can allow you to start your own artificial intelligence model with our Pengu. So we've got a Pengu as a platform or as an operating system where you can go into our cloud and start to play around with it and be able to come and show the government. I mean, the lady who was speaking just before me, she was talking about the app. One thing that I like about Namibia is that if you go to South Africa, we've got people like Uber, Bolt. I took an Uber to go to the airport on Sunday when I came here. And then my invoice came from Europe. It was written Amsterdam. And then I'm thinking to myself, is my government getting the benefit of the taxes and all those kind of things? One thing that I like about Namibia, the first night when I was here, I wanted to eat. There is an app called Eat My Takeaway or something like that. I registered and I managed to get my food. 100% Namibian. And those are the kind of things that we are able to enable you as Huawei to can be able to do when you go to our platform. Because in the beginning, when you start this thing, it can be very daunting. It can be very expensive because you need a lot of resources for you to achieve it. The platform is there. You can be able to utilize our platform to can be able to get somewhere. So let me play a video. Hopefully it has sound so that you understand what is Pengu and what is this model that we're talking about.
Huawei Cloud Pengu Model Team's academic paper was accepted for publication in the top international journal Nature. This marks an important milestone on our journey of pursuing R&D breakthrough. Inaccuracy of AI weather forecasting has always been a challenge. Pengu Weather is the first AI prediction model to demonstrate higher precision than traditional numerical weather forecast methods. The model allows a 10,000 time improvement in prediction speed, reducing global weather prediction time to just seconds. The paper shows that the core technological breakthrough of Pengu Weather is by proposing 3D Earth-specific transformer to handle complex and uneven 3D meteorological data. The paper also uses a hierarchical time domain aggregation strategy to reduce the number of forecast iterations and errors. Nature reviewers commented that Pengu Weather has brought a new perspective into the future of weather forecasting models. Currently, top weather systems in Europe and China are already discovering the strengths of Pengu's predictions in real-world testing. 80 typhoons are generated in average each year, causing billions of dollars of economic loss and over 20,000 life losses. In June 2023, Pengu Weather was commented by ECMWF as a legitimate rival of the IFS, which is used as the benchmark for high-quality forecasting. In the future, Huawei Cloud will continue to invest in R&D to bring better services and reshape the industries with the power of AI.
That is it. So this is the platform we can be able to utilize together to create the models that can be able to shape our economy going forward. So the model is there for you guys to utilize. It's accessible, affordable, and effective. But the most important thing is that we believe, as Huawei, that will be the first thing that we need to do together. But the second stage is that we believe that the country, as Namibia, need to formulate and establish something which is called the National Artificial Intelligence Computing Center, where they can allow youngsters to go and play around with the models, where they can be able to incubate the youngsters in their own government environment. It's expensive for now, but it's a vision that we believe the government should be able to take. And while they are going there, the current environment is there for those who want to take advantage of the AI eruption to can be able to participate in it. Now, we believe, as Huawei, we can partner with the community of Namibia, we can partner with the government to bring AI to life. We have done that in many organizations, we have done that in many countries, and we believe that we can do that in Namibia. With that, I say thank you. Are there any questions before I leave? Okay. Without any further ado, thank you very much.
Well done. Yes, thank you so much, sir. That was very powerful. Can we please give him a round of applause? That was indeed a powerful presentation, and I think that is why we do not have questions in the house. Are you sure you don't have any questions? That means Danko. In South Africa, they will say Danko. Oh, there is one. All right.
Comment.
Or a comment contribution is also welcomed.
Yes, thank you very much for that informative presentation. From our side, I think mine is just a question in line with your last remark to say, yes, government needs to do something where citizens or the youngsters can perhaps play around with their models. Yes, and I know Huawei has established very good research and innovation kind of centers in other countries. I've been to one in Egypt, in Cairo, with the Arab Organization of Industrialization. There's a whole Huawei Academy in there. There's a partnership. So how do we come on board to say, should we want to commence such discussions? Perhaps the models, you guys have done it in many countries, would say maybe we build, operate, and transfer to the state, or whichever model do you adopt. What are the available models of you partnering up with governments? Thank you.
This is a very good question, and thank you for that particular question. And I was hoping that this question comes because it's a win for me as to what is next from here. I believe that in Namibia, we already have the required resources because the platforms that we have are cloud-based. In Namibia, we already have something which is called ICT Academy, or the Academy, the Huawei Academy, where we teach youngsters to be incubated into the ICT. What just needs to happen from an AI point of view is where we have that official partnership with you. So what I'm going to do is that after this meeting, we'll set up a meeting together. We'll then discuss a way forward as to what can we do for you, because the resources are there, the talent is there, and everything is there. It's just a matter of common understanding. How do we build it and then transfer it to you guys, as you said, so that you can have the National AI Center for the youngsters. And thank you for the question.
That is why we have the ICT Summit, basically, for us to create these platforms where we create this kind of engagements and this kind of possible collaborations and so forth. So that's why we have these platforms. But let's give him once again a resounding round of applause.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Kabo Siapa, Strategy and Solutions Lead, Sub-Saharan Africa, Huawei. Thank you so much. We have something to appreciate your effort.
Thank you. Yeah, he traveled all the way from South Africa. Maybe we can just step in front. Mzanzi, like some will say. Thank you so much. What a day, what a day, what a day.
What a day, Shoki. I think for now we can just wait for the rest of the attendees who are actually in different venues for the breakaway sessions. We can call them back in, and then we close off. We give away the 3 goodies that we need to give away, and then we call it a day. But then let's remind them of what's going to happen tomorrow.
Of course, tomorrow is dedicated to young people, yeah? So young people will be taking over the center stage right here on this very same platform where we are, and they're going to showcase their innovation. They're going to display or present the ideas and those creative ideas. You know, young people are very important to our ecosystem, because without them, you know, I don't think we'll have more innovation, creativity, and you name it, right? So that's why really the third day of the summit is deliberately dedicated to young people.
Indeed. We just take a short break and then we call back everybody else from the breakaway sessions and then continue.
Then we'll continue. Stay tuned. We'll go for some ad breaks. Please don't go far. We are just going to call the others.
Limits are merely a state of mind. Challenge them and they fade away. We love to challenge our limits so that they don't become yours. Limits, a state of mind. We've overcome ours, we've removed yours, and we've created unlimited possibilities. Because we think big.
Always prepared.
Since establishing its presence in Windhoek in 2005, Huawei Namibia has been at the forefront of driving technological innovation and growth in the country.
We have deployed connectivity all over the country. We have been to deep area in the country just to provide a network to remote area, to people in villages. And this network actually help in terms of boosting connection between the local people and then all the diverse area of the country.
Soto vitombiri no tanyanyuko. Tetenda joka jonetweka kari ojetu mangurura. Ya monare ka kwa ikuno mapata sana. De paife ikuno mapata.
Today of insight and forward thinking, debates, information sharing, building resilience to adapt or die. We are gone, guys. We are gone.
I think everyone is so exhausted. It's been a long day.
Indeed.
A long day of great presentations, conversations, pertinent conversations for that matter, within the ICT space. And I think tomorrow is more exciting, Asteria.
Indeed, tomorrow will be very exciting because we'll then get to see the youth presenting their innovations or actually getting awarded for their innovations. And there will be a panel of judges also who will be making sure they really, really choose the best out of the best. And then the mentors who will be mentoring these youths so that they actually see through their innovations.
That's correct. So this brings us to the end of our production for this second day of the 8th National ICT Summit. It has really been an honor to be your host with the beautiful Ms. Asteria Njenja. And really, we look forward to seeing our virtual participants also joining in at 8 o'clock sharp tomorrow, or is it 9 o'clock?
Let's rather start at 8 tomorrow.
Yes,
because
the earlier the better.
It's the youth, it's the youth.
The youth, they say in Namibia.
It was a great honor to co-host with you, the handsome Mr. Kanjimi. I just wanted to give a few takeaways from this, or today, since yesterday and today's presentations. So, first of all, we learned that digital transformation isn't just a passing phase.
Indeed.
So, it's been there, It's with us, and we will have to live with it. And it's the future, apparently. And secondly, adaptation isn't just optional, it's becoming an essential.
That's why we say adapt or die.
Exactly. And finally, it's up to each and every one of us to shape how AI and digital technology will be integrated into our society.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to you here live in Windhoek, Namibia at 8 o'clock sharp for the last and the final day of the 8th National ICT Summit. From myself, Shoki Kanjimi.
And myself, Asteria and Ginger.
It's goodbye, Namibia.
Adios.